Hello, I'm Morris Dimba. Welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to finalize with this tutorial by showing you how to generate the girder boxes and piers at one go, or generating both piers and girders at the same time and sending them to Tekla structures for further development. Let's get started right away. If you take a look on the screen here, I have three windows already in place. I have the window of Grasshopper. This is the link to Tekla structures here. And here on my right you can see the Tekla structures window here. Once we've generated the piers and the girder boxes, then we'll take them back. We'll take them to Tekla structures for further development. By generating the drawings, because we have so many excellent tools for generating drawings in Tekla structures. Compared to Rhino. Now we are going to get started. If you take a look here, we have geometries, so many geometries here of our bridge model. The bottom end here, these are the pad footing for a single pier. Then these are other geometries that defines the shape of our pier. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to assign these curves to commands in Grasshopper that will link the Grasshopper and the Rhino, so that when we bring in the link to Tekla structures, it will be copied right into Tekla structures. So in Tekla structure, we can be able to generate our drawings from the model that we've generated with the help of Rhino and Grasshopper. Now let's get started. We have the curves here. Now I'll come straight to that command, params if you want to call it. Then I'll pick on the curve, the first curve. I want to assign all these curves to all these geometries, so that I'll be able to generate the parts or the components that I intend or I want to generate from these geometries. Now I'll click here and I want to duplicate or create several copies of these curves. Then I press Ctrl C just to copy. Then I want several of that. Then just pull that down, all these curves. Then I want to align them, space them properly. Then just drag to a better space. Now which one do we start with? We want to start with the piers, the bridge piers first. Now I'll first of all select on the first curve and assign it to a particular geometry in Rhino. Now I'll right click and come to that and change and give it a name with reference to the geometry in Rhino here. Now the first one, I'll give it a road line 1. That's it. If I zoom close, we have two curves here that takes the profile of our bridge. Now the first line will be the path for our bridge piers to follow, and the second curve will be for our girder box to follow that curve. So the first curve will be assigned to the piers, and the second curve will be assigned to the girder boxes. That's how it will go. Now the first road line, I'll just add another road line 1. Now I'll come to the second curve and assign these to pier section. Let me just write that pier section 1. Then we'll go to pier section 2. We'll try it a little bit faster. Pier section 2, and we'll go to pier section 3. I'm assigning these curves to the geometries of our pier, so that when we start sweeping and extruding those shapes to come up with a decent pier, it will not be something hectic to remember or to come up with. Now I'll come to pier section 3. That's it. And I need some of these curves. Then let me just create some other two copies. Just drag that to the bottom end here and space them uniformly. And I need another curve here, and then pier, pedestal 1. Then we must have the pier, the second pedestal, pier, pedestal 2. We'll come to pier footing. There we are. We've created the geometry names that will be referenced to the Rhino geometry, the geometries you see in the Rhino here. Now let me just finalize with this footing. Now there we are. Now I'll come to road line 1. I want to assign this curve to, I want to reference this curve to this geometry here. I'll right click and come to set one curve, and I'll pick this geometry here, that one. There we are. So when I come here and select on it, you will see it's being referenced with the green line, means it has been accepted right there now, or it has been assigned there, right there. Now I'll come to pier section 1. I'll right click and come to set multiple curves, because I'll select multiple curves because we want to pick on 2 curves that will define a geometry for our pier. Now I'll pick set multiple geometries and pick on this geometry and pick on that, then right click. Then I'll first of all sweep it. Just loft it. Double click on that, then just come here and loft it. Look for the loft command, pick on that, and I want to duplicate. I need several of these because I'll use the loft command several times. Now I'll press Ctrl C, then come to Ctrl V and duplicate this loft command a number of times because we'll be using them so frequently. Now I want to create this shape first. Now I'll come to pier section 1 and just pull this and connect the curves of that shape to the loft. That shape has been created. Now I want to assign this to the top geometries that will be defining our pier for our bridge. Now I'll come to set multiple curves. I'll click on that, then I'll pick the top curve of this shape, pick that, and pick on the second one, then right click to accept the referencing to my curve command in Grasshopper. Then when I come here and select on that, you'll be able to see they are being highlighted, or they are being referenced in Rhino. Now I want to connect these curves to loft. Then the geometries will be created, or the shape will be created. But if you take a look here, it's something awkward that you cannot come to lay your eyes on the second time. Now we want to adjust this. Now we'll just pull this down, then come here and take another option of loft. Then we'll pick the loft option here. Then we want to pull this curve to adjust input. Then we take this output to options of curve. Then that shape will be adjusted to our preference. Now we are going to the third geometry of pier section. Then I'll click on it first of all and right click and come to set multiple curves and pick on that. Then I want to assign this curve to I want to reference these 2 curves to Rhino curves command. Now you can see when I select on it, it's being referenced there as a green with a green color right there. Now I'll select on that, then I'll pull it or connect it to a curve command in Rhino here to define a shape. Now I'll pick on it, drag it, and connect it to a curve. Then we have a shape right there. Let's pull up this so that we have this finalized as early or as quick as possible. Now I want to assign the pedestals. I'll right click and come to multiple curves, and I want to assign this curve here, that and that, to Rhino curve commands. Now that has been assigned. Then let's just go and complete that assigning the curves. Pick on that, and I want to assign this curve here and assign this curve here. Right click to accept that. Then I'll come to bottom at the bottom end here and select the pier footing right here. Right click and come to multiple curves, select on that curve, define it as a curve, then select the second one, right click, and that will be defined as that. Pick on that, connect it to lofting curves that has been created right there. Then curve to come to pedestal 2, connect it right there, pull it up. Then we are remaining with the pad footing for our pier. Connect it like that, and that has been created, but they are just surfaces, so we want to make it look like a solid thing. So to do that, we just double click there and come to cup holes. Remember, you can also access the cup holes command by coming to surfaces and pick the cup holes here right there. Then we want several of these, so we'll just press Control C, then Control V, so that we can get a number of these for our geometries that has been generated. Let's arrange that. Now you want to connect that to that, then link that to that, then we'll link that to that one, link that to that, link that to that, link that to that. Now our shapes have been created. Now what are we going to do next? We want to array this. We want these geometries to follow the path that we defined for it. Now we want all these piers to follow this curve. This curve, you can see here, the green one. Now we'll come to array, double click there, and we want to array that to follow the path of our bridge. Now we'll pick on that, and we want several of these. Press Control C and Control V. We need 6 of these. Then they will pull that down there, drag that right there, and pull that. We need 6 of these. Just make sure they're 6. Then align them. We don't need this. This is an excess. Or then let me just bring it close so that you can see whatever is happening on my left in Rhino. Now I'll come to cup holes and join that to that. Nothing's happening because we've not linked the road line to our curves here. Now I'll come to our road line, then connect these curves here. You can see it's being generated. Then I want to connect all these curves right there. Connect that curve to that, then connect that to that, then connect that to that, then you bring this one to that array command. Then let's send our geometries to array. This is wrong, and this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. We'll need to terminate this. So we have to remove that. I will come here and connect that to that. You can see the shape is coming up. I'll pick that and connect that to that. Pick that and connect that to that, and connect that to that. Bring the select on that and link up. You can see we have our shapes already in place. Perfect. And that's how it's done. And maybe you might be interested in now in maybe regulating or correcting or manipulating the number of piers here. To manipulate or correct the number of piers you want in for this bridge, we come to number slider here, and we introduce number slider. We double click on this, then pick on the minimum slide, the minimum number of piers that we need. We need probably 5, and the number should not go beyond 15. That's it. So the range could be 5. Then we click OK. Now we'll link this to counts here. Link that to counts here. Link that to counts right there. So you see here we have 5. So now we can slide this to a number that we want. If you want 15, that's upon you. If you want 10, that's upon you. So in this particular case, we just need 10. 10 is okay for us. Then we'll just drag it somewhere here. Just drag that to that spot. Just drag everything here. Just drag everything. Drag there. Select everything. Align everything here to have some sort of uniformity. Now that's it. Now we have created our piers that has followed the path of our bridge. Now the next thing remaining is creating the girder boxes, and that is very, very easy if you've been following the step that we've just left. Now I've not exported this or taken this or sent this to Tekla structure because I want to finalize first with the girder box. Now let's get started here. Pick on the curve, assign that, place that curve right there, and pick on the curve once again and press copy, press Ctrl V so that we have a number of that. Align them. Now the first curve will be assigned to the profile, or the profile of the bridge. Now I'll come to curve and just type road line there. Perfect. Now I'll come here and assign another name to a particular curve. Then in this case it will be girder box profile. There we are. Then we'll go to girder box section 1, girder box section 1, and we'll have girder box section 2, girder box section 2. There we are. These sections I'm talking about are these holes that will be created in our girder box. Now I'll assign the road line to the curve that the girder box will be following. I'll come to set one curve, then I'll pick on this curve right there, right click to terminate that command. Now I'll come to girder box profile and click set curve. Then I'll pick on the girder box itself, right click, then come to girder box section 1 and assign that curve. I'll pick that as my section. I'll pick that as my section 1. Then click on empty screen here to terminate, to deselect what has been selected right there. I'll come to girder section 2 right here and pick on that, right click. Now everything has been referenced properly to our geometry. Now I'll come to road line. Will not use it. We'll first of all start with the profile of our geometry. So you see, when I select everything, all our geometries are getting selected right here, which means they have been referenced properly. And let's get started. Now we have to bring in another command from Grasshopper. Which one is that? We'll go for the sweep. I'll double click here and sweep and look for sweep, and this is the command that will help us in creating the shape of our girder box. I'll press Ctrl C, then I'll generate 2 of these to make them 3. I'll align them here. Perfect. And what next are we going to do? We are going to connect our road line to the rails of our sweep. We connect them to rails of our sweep, and let's pull them slightly up right there. Now we want to join all these geometries to the sections here. Pull that to that section, and you can see immediately something has been generated following the profile that we defined it to follow. Now the next, we are going to section 1, which we defined to be that, then pull it to sweep section here, and it has been created right there. Now this is what we have for our curve, for our girder box. Now the next thing we're going to do is to make them look more over solid than surfaces, because if I bring them close, you'll see it just they are just surfaces created, and they don't look like a solid thing. Now I'll double click here and look for cup holes, or you can access it through surface and pick on that. Then we need a number of these. Press Ctrl C. Then we need two more to make them 3. Pull that down and align them like that to look a little bit more properly arranged. Now I'll pick on that, the first ship, and drag it to that, and pick that and drag it to that, pick that and drag that to that. Pull that closer. And what next are we going to do? What are we going to do next is to take these to Tekla structures. And to do that, we first of all want to start with the piers. Now we'll come to Tekla structures here. We'll come to Tekla and we'll use this item. Place it right there, pick on it, select on it, then press Ctrl C. Then we want several of these, need 6 of them. Drag and place down there because we need some bit of space. Drag that, just drag that, then pull this here, then select that and pull that one there, then drag that and slot that one there. There must be 6. 1 2 3 4. Let's align that and there. And 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. We don't need this. Then select all that, drag and place them right there. Now I want to send this to Tekla structures, and this is the link. Now I'll click on that, then join this geometry to that geometry. You can see something is happening. Tekla structure. This geometry has been copied to Tekla structures here. Then I want to send that one also, then bring this one also, then take this one also right there, then take this one also. Perfect. And we're almost finalizing, and that's it. So if I pull this close, you can see our shape is coming up. Now we'll do the same to the girder box. Let's pick on that, press Ctrl C, then press Ctrl V, then drag this here, drag it here, then I'll pick on that and join it right there. I'll close that, I'll close that, I'll close that, I'll close that. Then you can see that has been brought and properly sitting right on top of our pier. Now I'll select on this once again and press Ctrl, and I need 2 of these. Now I'll drag this and drag that up. Then I'll join this. I'll link that to that. Then I'll close all this. You can see that already in place. Our section 1, our girder box section 1. Then we want to link this to that. Then you'll see this will bring our girder box section 2. Now what are we going to do next? We want to cut off this. Let's first of all drag that close and align this properly. Perfect. Now we'll use a cut part and select on that, press Ctrl and Ctrl V. We want just 3 of these. We'll get rid of that, drag that and place that one right there. Now we'll pick the part to be cut from. We'll pick on that. We want to cut this part from this part from this. Now we've selected it. You can see it has been highlighted. Now we'll connect it to part to be cut. You can also read that by mousing over this part. Then the information will be seen: part to be cut or fitted. Now I'll pick the part to be cut from, which is this, and pull it to that part. You can see that. Then also I'll pick the part to be cut from once again. I'll pick on this and drag this to part to be cut from. then connect this. Perfect. I'll get rid of this because our job is complete. You can see the geometry is here indicating that this section has been this section is a cutoff. Now if I drag this aside and maximize the window of Tekla structures here and come to view here and come to rotate here, remember you can use any command to rotate your model. Now I'll turn that round. You can see this thing has been generated perfectly. It doesn't matter the color that you see here, red. You can remember you can change this the way you want. You can give it a different color. I think I've showed that several times on the previous videos. Now I want to delete. I want to get rid of this by just selecting on the shape and pressing delete. Then I'll come here and right click and redraw. Perfect. Now I'll come here and turn that. What we're seeing here, the window has been defined to the size of our grid, which shouldn't be a very big issue. Now if I turn this round, you can be able to see that this is how it looks. This is how it looks, and this is how it's done. Perfect. Perfect. Maybe I can change this color by double clicking on it and giving it a different color like that, and clicking modify and accept that. That's a different color, and you can do the same thing to the rest of the parts of this model. So this is how it can be done. Another way of doing it. And this marks the end of this tutorial. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and if you have any comments, please place it down there. I'll respond back to you. Bye bye, and let's meet then. I'm Maurice Dimba, and don't forget once again to subscribe. Bye bye. Thank you.